everybody. Thanks for joining us today. And welcome to our friends from Finland. We'll start, please, with Gary from Sky Sports News. Hi.
Yes, it is how it looked and how he walked off the pitch. So it's a serious hamstring injury, and he will be out for at least 8 to 10 weeks.
Wow, more bad news. So what does that mean, do you think, with him and Munoz, in terms of your January thinking? You need to bring in players?
Doesn't affect the thinking on tomorrow's game, and because they won't be back. And our focus is completely on it is 3 games within 5 days, starting with KuPS and then going to Leeds and playing at the Emirates. And then we have a little bit time, and but even then we play Tottenham at home before 2025 ends. So again, no, doesn't affect the next couple of days. But yes, it's not what we want. But on the other side, it's part of football. It's part of sports. Yeah, that when you play so many games, that things can happen. And it was just it. Also, it's not a normal muscle injury because it just was an incident with his landing and the body position. He overstretched everything and had the full weight on the front, and that's why this happens, because he never has muscle injuries, and so, but again, that unfortunately is part of our game.
As you say, 3 games in less than a week, 3 big important games as well, fighting on 3 fronts. You'll have to use the squad, I guess.
Well, yes, as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, so no player will start KuPS and Leeds, so it's just not. I and we all feel responsible for the players' welfare, and just spoke to Will because he experienced this in a few years ago when there was Boxing Day, and was in 26, 28, or sometimes there were games and he played it. But I just think that now the intensity of the game increased, and also it's maybe you can do it once, yeah, but it's our 25th game now or 26, I don't know, and also we have to think further, because again it's on the 18th, we play on the 20th, we play on the 23rd, we play on the 28th, we play on the 1st, on the 4th, on the 7th, on the 10th, and therefore it's just irresponsible if we do this. So that's why we will start with 2 completely different teams, but of course there will be the minutes will be shared a little bit if this is possible. And then normally I don't like to do this in competitive games. We always want to play the best team from the first until the last minute, but the schedule just demands this from us, and that's why we will do it.
That schedule you just heard the boss talking about as a top pro, obviously you want to be involved in all the competitions, but is it just getting to the point where it's just all too much?
It's difficult to say, because as much as I or anyone else can say I want to play in every game, it's like the gaffer said, it's not possible nowadays. 7, 8 years ago you could probably get away with it, but due to the intensity of the games, it's incredible now. The amount of high speed running, it's just, if you play every 2 days, there's bound to be an injury for a player. So whilst as players we want to play in every game, we have to understand the risks involved, and we have to respect the decision as well.
It's Christmas, it's the time of goodwill, so I'm going to be a bit of a Grinch. I apologise for the question you don't want, but while you've been...
speak about goodwill, so...
Oh, very good. You take the mic, you got the gags.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to be a Grinch and bring up that subject that's endlessly brought up, because while you've been on the training pitch, it's emerged again, lines about concern about your contract and your future. The club apparently looking at potential, Crystal Palace, if there is a post-Glasner who might come in. That's what all clubs do anyway, for all players and managers. It's like, it's the way they are. They have a plan. But is it all a bit of a distraction, all this talk about your contract?
No time for distraction again. I just mentioned the schedule. It's just no time. And I'm really, believe me, I'm never thinking about my future right at the moment. I've just really all getting everything sorted with the players and what is the best. I never played this schedule, and also these games, so many games in this short period, and it's now we have 16 players of our squad available, 16 on-field players right now. That's where we will add a few players from the under-21s, and this is And then, you know, you get the injuries, you get the results of the scans, and then what are we doing? Surgery, no surgery, So many going on. Believe me, I don't think 1 second about my future. And it's not important right now. And I know so many rumors, but I don't know how many clubs I managed in the last 3 months, and I'm still sitting here. So as soon as we will take a decision. Believe me, number one, the players will hear it, and number two, you will hear it.
But as you stand now, not considered it, you're not erring towards the side of leaving, you're not erring towards the side of staying, it's just an open book.
We just didn't talk about it, yeah. So the chairman was in the USA last week. We played away games, Burnley, Dublin. Yeah. We had to stay 1 night longer there. We play tomorrow evening, and on Friday we fly to Leeds. We can't fly back, so we have to stay until Sunday, and on Tuesday we go to the Emirates. So when should I talk about my contract? And that's why we said, okay, let's push it backwards when we have time, because it's not between 3 meetings. We take 10 minutes time. We want to do it in a relaxed atmosphere, and right at the moment there is no relaxed atmosphere, and that's why we pushed it back.
Finally, though, it's a difficult thing. If you did decide that maybe you wanted a new challenge, it would be a difficult decision. What you've achieved here, the atmosphere on the training ground, the brotherhood, the family feeling at the club, all you've achieved on the pitch as well. You know, a couple of points behind Chelsea out of the top 4 of the Premier League in 2 cup competitions with another one to fight for. You've achieved so much here, it would be difficult to leave, wouldn't it?
It's like, how you say, when something ends, you're talking already like this, you know. We're in the middle of the season. So again, we have many things we want to achieve. We're in all competitions. We're in a great position in the Premier League. We want now to qualify straight for the round of the last 16 in the Conference League. Then we play the quarterfinal in the Carabao Cup, and that's what we are focusing on. And I think, and we will agree, no speculation about myself, no speculation about any player. You know how it was with Mark and Epps in summer, and then it's JP, and I don't know whoever. Nothing leads that we are losing our mood. Nothing leads to the point that we don't enjoy being successful together, and that's so nothing changed in the last month, and this won't be in the next months as well.
As a senior player, is that right? It's not a distraction for you guys?
Absolutely spot on. There's nothing spoke about internally between the players, and especially with how society is now, rumours get circulated at the click of a button. You go through half our team, there'll be rumours about them. January, summer, so it's just part and parcel of the game. There's no distraction there on our part at all.
Are you living in January? No, just I just wanted to ask you, finally from me, thank you for your time, what Pep said to you and what you said to Pep.
That stays between us. It was a nice conversation.
It looked like it might have been tactics, it looked like it might have been bants, it looked like it might have been serious and grumpy.
That's you should write about this. That's interesting, you know. And then it's a better because these are interesting rumors, you know. Speculate a little bit, and it's better than about my future and about the players' future, because this actually happened. So you have something to write about. So you can write everything.
We will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Andy, BBC.
Oliver, your opponents tomorrow obviously defended their title in Finland. What can you tell us about what you've learnt from watching them?
Yes, it's a team that wants to play football from the back. So it's one of the teams with the higher possession in the Conference League, not just in the Finnish league. Also, sometimes the goals record tell a little bit. Yeah, they have 4-3 goals, so don't score a lot, but also don't concede many. And yes, of course, and for them it's an important game. Yeah, they defended the title in the Finnish league, and now it's for them to get a win and qualify for the qualification round end of February. And I think they will be highly motivated. Of course, we know their manager will leave after the season, and already read that Oksanen, one of the midfield players, joins Kairat Almaty. So yeah, as a team playing football, want to have possession, and playing in a 4-2-2-2 system. Yeah, very fluid, many players in the center of the pitch, and so yeah, will be a nice game, will be interesting. But as I mentioned, for us it's to win the game and go straight into the round of last 16.
And we know from watching your teams that, you know, players really have to earn their place in your team, but you are going to name essentially 2 different starting 11s. What do you want to see from the players that come in maybe tomorrow that haven't played maybe or started as many games?
It's always the same, and then it's European night at Selhurst, yeah? So it's the third, and let's say the 4th game at Selhurst, European game in ever, and so everybody should enjoy it. Everybody should enter the pitch, as I told the players, with a smile in the face and expressing himself and just showing why he is part of the squad and doing everything to win the game, doing everything to support the teammates on the pitch, and that's what we expect in every single game, and not more.
And it's an obvious one, but with the pile up of fixtures you've had this season, how important would it be to just ensure you get that top 8 and don't have the extra 2?
To be honest, it's now I don't care what happens in February, because the 2 games would be end of February. We will have definitely. So we hope that we get another game, the first semi-final game in the FA Cup on the 13th of January. So we could play 3 game weeks until the 17th. But then the last 2 weeks in January will be definitely 1 game a week, because there are the 2 Champions League and Conference League, Europa League games. So that means we have these 2 weeks to recover, to train, and then we will be ready again. So I think that's why, of course, if it is, we will take the games, but yes, we want to go straight into the knockout stage.
And we'll remember you coming into professional football at 16, so having this at this stage of your career, what's it meant to you to be playing European football?
Everything. Something that maybe a few years ago I didn't really expect to happen, but credit to the gaffer coming in and ultimately making not only myself but the rest of the lads believe that we can achieve many things, and you know, it was proven last year. Not many of us thought we could have lifted the FA Cup, but he made us believe, and everyone in that change room did just that, and look what turned out. So hopefully more to come at the end of the season.
And just finally from me, has it been the kind of best period of your career in terms of the camaraderie and the team spirit?
Yeah, without doubt, and it's cliche to say we've got a good group, but I genuinely think the togetherness we've had over the last 18 months has played a huge role in our success. No egos, no individuals doing it on their own. It's been a group thing, and to achieve something like we did last year, it has to take that to be successful.
Thank you.
Thanks. Are you from service? No? We'll start with Bobby then. That's fine. And we'll come back to you. Thanks.
Hi, Will. Hi, Will. Hope you are. Just to pick up on the fixture schedule, as a player, would you like to see a bit more support from perhaps the Union and FIFA and the EFL to create a more conducive fixture schedule?
That's a difficult question. That is a difficult question. I think it's all relative as well, because this is the first time it's really happened in my career in terms of all the cup competitions, the European games, and it makes me think over the last few years watching the best teams in the world have to do it under the scrutiny they're under, having to perform at such a level week in, week out. So I don't think I'm probably best placed to answer that, having not really experienced it that much. But there's always 2 sides to the story. We want to play football, there's no doubt about that. So the argument of they get paid X amount, I don't really buy into it, because we also want to entertain the fans. We want to be at the best level we can possibly be, and if players are playing every 3 days, it's tough to do that. So it's a tough question. I can see both sides of it, but ultimately we want to play as many games as possible.
And presuming you play tomorrow, can you just talk me through the fact that there could be some academy players in the 11s, maybe some debutants? How do you almost guide them through the game as a senior player?
The gaffer mentioned it today in training, just to play with a smile on your face, enjoy it, let loose really. Don't think too much, and that's the advice I'd give as well. Just enjoy it, because it's a reward for what we did last season, especially for the young lads to come in and play European fixture at that age, it's really something special. So yeah, my advice to them is just to enjoy it.
Thank you. Hi Oliver, obviously it's no secret that there's not loads of depth at centre-back, so if you are to play two different 11s, you would perhaps presume that some of the academy lads would have to start at centre-back. George King and Mofi Jemade trained with the squad today, so do you think we could perhaps see debuts from the start for them tomorrow?
Perhaps, yeah.
And just a similar question to what I asked Will, what would your advice be to the younger players over the next couple of days?
No, it's the same. Again, I mentioned it before, and I said it to the players on the training ground. Yeah, enjoy it. Maybe you have your debut in an international game for Crystal Palace in front of 25,000. So invite your parents and your family and enjoy the game. And then I don't expect everything is perfect. I don't ask somebody. I always hope, but unfortunately it's not possible. But don't expect that you don't make mistakes. Don't expect that everything is perfect. Just do. Show why you are an academy player. Show everybody has the goal to play Premier League football. Yeah. So just show it why you, with all your skills and that's the only thing. Yeah. With maximum effort, but also again be calm and enjoy.
And I think it's 6 with the group. We've spoken about 3 of them before, but just for the Palace fans who might not be too familiar with the academy, could you tell us a little bit about Dean Benamor, George King and Mofi Jemade?
There were also Joel Drakes-Thomas, Benji Casey.
Yeah, but we spoke about them in Dublin.
Ah,
So
okay.
these are the 3 we haven't seen
these
before.
3, yeah. Dean Benamor is a wing-back option, and I was quite impressed last year. We played once in an international break, let's say, against our under-21s, and he had a very good performance there. He was very dynamic. He had an injury, but he's now back, and yeah, dynamic there. And King and Mofi there. Yeah, Mofi, tall, left-footed centre half, and Kingy also. Yeah, is playing every game for our under-21s and doing well there. So that's why they deserve to be with us.
And just finally, can I check about the long-term absentees? Obviously, we saw Chadi Ria with the group at the start again today, and of course, Czech Decore and Rio Cardines. How are they coming along in their recoveries?
Yeah, takes time. So I can't tell you a date when Czech will be back with us. I hope the earlier the better, but it's again getting him stable and consistent. And yeah, Rio also had the setback, so he will be out for a few weeks. And Chadi is doing better. Is now taking part in team training, and now it's of course giving him training after training, seeing how the knee reacts, and getting him back into his best shape. But I think he's now out for almost 1 year. When we see the first injury, almost 1.5 years. It's now not 1 week up or down is not important. It's just being consistently in training and then starting with getting minutes in the under-21s and then being back for us.
And Rio Cardines?
Yeah, also his few weeks setback, muscle injury in his adductor, and I think, I don't know exactly, 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Is that full training for Chadi now? And how close is he to playing for the under-21s?
You know, yes, he had the full training today, but it was a match to -1 training, and you know, we had after the warm-up that you could watch, we had 15 minutes tactical training, yeah, and then set plays. So it's you know, it's important for him to get real football training, intense training, yeah, with duels and everything. We don't have it right at the moment, and we won't have it until mid of January. So that's why he will need sessions with the under-21s where he gets this intensity, the duels, the feeling you need to be ready for playing minutes. And if he has this without any reaction and feeling comfortable, that's the most important thing. And I ruptured my ACL myself, and then it's important, you know, the feeling on the pitch, and if you feel right, then it's the right moment. And so I don't know when this will happen, but it will be.
Thank you.
Okay. Gentleman here, could you pass the mic? Thank you.
Hi Oliver, hi Will. Oliver, I appreciate this is an exceptionally busy time of year with the 3 games in 5 days, but I suppose throughout the season there will always be the next game to prepare for, and it will be busy for the rest of the season. So when will the time come when you may need to talk with the board about your future?
As I said, of course we're always talking, but now not really in detail. I think we met the first time in March, and then this is an ongoing process. But now we don't talk in detail about it. Again, it's now everything we talk about is our games now, and of course it's the January window, and how injuries do injuries affect it or not? Do we need? Because of course we had an original plan, and now maybe we do adjust, or don't we? So this is what we're talking right now, and not about my contracts. And then there will be, I don't know, honestly.
Could those conversations about your contract happen after January, in the spring, right towards the end of the season?
I just tell you it will happen before the 1st of July, because then my contract has ended.
Thank you, appreciate it. And could I also ask another question about transfers? It's been reported this week that Mark Gay is a leading target for Manchester City next summer. Just what's your understanding of that situation?
I don't. If I start now, it's a never-ending story. Don't comment any rumors, as Will said. Now somebody writes something, even could be anonymous. Everybody copy and paste, and all of a sudden it's a worldwide story, and we all believe that's the worst thing. We all believe that it's true. You can believe so much written about myself. And yesterday evening, my family texted me, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" I said, "Please, don't read all this stuff." And I watched Cardiff against Chelsea. Nice game.
How eager would you be for the future of your captain to be resolved in January? Whatever the decision's made, would that be something you'd be keen for?
I think Mark will stay and plays until the end of the season. That's my understanding right now. Nobody told me something different. I know there is no offer right now, so why expecting something different?
Thank you. Well, I just asked, like, we've talked a lot about how many games you've got at the moment. Just wondering, as players, is there anything you do differently when you have like this ridiculous run of games, whether that's physical, mental, or is it more keeping that consistency that you always have?
Not particularly. As the gaffer said, we've not really had proper physical training session since I can remember, and won't have one until mid-January. So there's a lot of emphasis on recovery for the players that are playing, and also the players that aren't playing, topping up and getting match loads into your body, because it's important when you are needed that you are ready. So that's important. But every player is different. Every player has their preference on how they go about their routine. So yeah.
Thank you.
Gentleman here.
Hi, I'm Janne Palomäki from Finnish newspaper Iltalehti. Sorry, English is not my mother tongue, obviously, but I know that there is this expression in English called poetic justice. When you
Do you repeat that?
poetic justice.
Poetic justice.
Poetic justice.
Poetic justice.
So
Yes.
let me explain. We all know what happened to Crystal Palace at the hands of UEFA last summer, and why you are playing this competition. Now you are facing a club whose owner is part of or member of the executive committee of UEFA. Win for you tomorrow, and they're out of Europe. Does that give like extra spice for the game?
I have to complain, Joanne. You didn't brief me and tell me this. No. You know, I think it's. I personally, I never, how you say, want to be successful on the back of somebody else. Is right? You understand? You know, we want to be successful for our fans, for our club, for ourselves, and we don't want to be successful to, let's say, to punish somebody. No, it's not. this is for me completely wrong mindset. So we always want to see the positive part. Yeah? That means winning for us, getting into the straight into the round of last 16. That's what we are looking at, and never what this happens for the opposition. Never.
Gentleman there. Yes, thank you.
Hi Oliver, hi Will. My name's Jan Noivia. I'm with Helsingin Sanomat in Finland. Just to kick off, Oliver, have you ever coached or played in Finland?
No, but when I was manager in Linz, we got a player from HJK Helsinki, Joao Klaus. Yeah, he was on loan from.
Did you like him?
There. Yeah, of course, he was a great striker for us. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty decent
and
career.
Then I was in Finland watching him live, and that was honestly my only trip to Finland, but not this year. But I would like to go then. I heard a lot about Finland, how nice it is, and about the polar lights in winter, and so I will go there definitely.
Outside of KuPS, when you think of Finland, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Nothing is an acceptable answer.
No, it's the country of lakes, yes, and this, I think you have a very long border to Russia. Of course, it's now where our team manager is Finnish, so and I'm talking to him sometimes because I'm also politically interested, and so yeah, that's and I think you are #1 in the world in education in school. You don't know this, but I know it because I have 3 children, and so I think you are a role model. Finland is a role model in a few parts in our society, and yeah, football. I think it's a little bit can compare it with Austria. It's maybe not top of the world, but yeah, having two clubs now in the Conference League and doing okay. Both I think have the chance to qualify for the qualification round. So it's doing well.
Are there any players specifically on the KuPS team that you would be paying attention to with regard to tomorrow's game?
We're always paying to every single one attention. So first of all, we don't know how they will play, and so always have respect. Of course, I know Kreidel, the goalkeeper, played at my club where I was playing for 18 years, so as for Reed. Of course, we know Cissé, the centre back, Oksanen, as I mentioned, and the I don't have the name now, the striker who scored 2 goals.
Parsisek.
Yes, exactly. So yes, and so every player, every team deserves the respect, and that's why we prepared in the same way than we prepared against City 3 days ago.
Is it difficult? I mean, I realize, of course, you don't want to disrespect any opponent, as you just said. But when you have on your schedule in between massive games, Manchester City and Leeds, and big cup games coming up against a small club from Finland, are you ever concerned about your players' motivation for a game like that?
No, not at all. I think players proved it. When we played at Shelburne, was the same, and we rotated a little bit and did so well, and we won 3-0. No, and we're always talking about it, about our foundation, and our foundation is always respecting the opposition and looking at ourselves, and we have our standard, and the players know. Doesn't know that we're always playing well, but our standard is always giving 100%, and this is what we expect from each other, what we demand from each other, and this is the only thing I demand every single game. And there is no space for playing with maybe 95%, regardless which team we are playing. So
thank you very much.
What I expect tomorrow.
Thank you. Matt.
Hi, Oliver. We speak a lot, and you speak a lot about the impact of this run of games on the players. But what about yourself? How does it impact on you? And you can rotate the players. You're there every moment. You live every moment of the game. You're so invested in it. What's it like for you?
Thank you for this question. It's really a hard impact on myself, because yesterday I lost the first time in paddle. So it looks like I'm getting fatigue. And also maybe have to visit the cryo, to be ready next time. So yeah, tough defeat yesterday in 5 sets.
Are you good normally?
Unbeaten. The unbeaten run ended. So really, that's why I watched Cardiff Chelsea in the evening. No, but of course, it's for all of us. It's trying to find the moments, the hours, the days. But for me, now is no time to switch off and until the game at the Emirates, and then everybody will have off 24th and 25th, and I will go home to my family to Austria. As you know, we celebrate Christmas Eve on the 24th, and that's huge, to be honest, having the Christmas Eve at home with my family. So this is where I will get the energy back, and on the 26th when we meet, then it's back on the focus, and that's, I picked this job, so I never complain about it. I'm enjoying it. I told the players also today. I said every single day I come with a smile to the training ground, and I'm enjoying not just working, talking, being together with the players, with the staff, and that's the best you can have. And that's, and when I need time to recover, then I leave a little bit earlier, or my family was here, and then we went. In London, you have quite nice events. It was this Home Alone in the Royal Albert Hall with the symphonic orchestra. It was a fantastic evening. Then 2.5 hours listening to these great musicians and watching this funny movie, and together with my family. And I don't need more. 2-3 hours having dinner before, and next day I was really looking forward to the Man City game, and then it happened what happened.
Can I just check on Justin Devenny? Obviously, he was on the bench against Man City. Is everything all right after they sort of took a knock against Shelbourne?
No, he had cramps. He had cramps. He's running so much, and sometimes too much, left, right, up, down, and no, he's fine.
And just on the young players, is there ever a risk of sort of giving them too much information, or saying, giving them too much of a message? You don't want to say necessarily too much to them, and make them overthink. Perhaps what's the right level of sort of information that you need to give to them?
First of all, the best thing is when you have like a red line. When the under 21s, maybe the under 18s have the same patterns than you have in the first. It makes it much easier for the players. It's just that the pace of the game, the intensity is higher, and that makes it. But if you have different patterns, if you have different things that you are asked to do, that makes it difficult for them sometimes. And a few informations, and then let's do it.
What do you think they can learn from this experience, whether they play or not? Those players that have come up, and especially like Benji and Joel Drakes-Thomas, who travelled with you to Shelbourne. It's obviously a different experience. What are you hoping that they learn from that?
Like we all are, it's every experience, will, if you are open-minded, will help you in growing as a player or as a person. Being in this environment, being with the senior players, how they are preparing, what are they doing during the day, everything. It's just, of course, if you're the whole day in your room and don't look left and right, then you don't take a lot of it if you don't play. But on the other side, having the meetings and not just as a young player, that's when I listening to somebody, then I'm in there, eyes open, ears open, and try to get as many input as possible, and then thinking about it, what could work, what could I take for myself, and if the young players are doing it, it will help them in their whole career.
Will, just again on the young players, you've been in that position where you're very young when you started your career, especially for, I suppose, Joel Drakes-Thomas, who's only 16. What do you do to make sure that they feel welcome and comfortable in that environment? Is there anything special or anything different that you do as a player, as a team?
It was a bit of a different changing room when I was 16. You couldn't get away with anything. Get shouted at left, right and centre. But it's changed now. Generational thing. So you have to adapt with that. You've got to make them feel comfortable. I think that's the main thing. But also still demand a certain level of commitment from them. That's non-negotiable. And to enjoy themselves. They've still got to put the work in. But ultimately they've been given a chance So to try and enjoy it and take it seriously and work hard, that's all the gaffers ever asked from all of us, not just the young players, is 100% commitment. And then, like you know, it's not always going to be perfect. As long as you have the intention of doing everything in the right way, then that's enough.
I guess it must be quite hard for them in a way to come up and only sort of, some of them probably wouldn't have trained with you too much, and you're not doing that much training. What would you say to them?
Did you say hard? Sorry, I have to interrupt. Did you say it's hard?
Well, just to step up and not have been in that environment, it must be a challenge.
No, come on. If you get called up for the first team, you know, you have to run home and then just hey, wow, because now your dream came true.
Yeah.
And if this is hard, you have a hard life. Sorry. And no, I don't understand this mindset. You know, if somebody has this mindset, change it immediately. Yeah. So if it's hard that you can play for the first team, that you can train with these great players, and you find it hard, look for a different job. That's my advice. No, enjoy it. Be happy. Laugh. Talk. Call whatever, whomever. But please don't feel that it's hard.
Yeah, that's right. It's a luxury.
Yeah.
It's not pressure. It's not hard. Pressure's getting food on the table for your kids. That's real life. This isn't hard in that aspect. Might be daunting, but you know, as players, we've been around the block. We make them feel comfortable, but that's all they've ever wanted to do since they were 4 or 5 years old. Now they're getting a chance. So, like the gaffer said, you have to enjoy it with a smile on your face. Don't see it as being hard.
Sorry.
Okay. Any others? One more from Bobby.
Just to follow up on that, is the challenge for these players more that once they get the minutes and get the chance to staying grounded, is that more what you want to see from them?
Again, it's for me, it's neither the first thing, the staying grounded. For me, it's not this question. You know, if you want to become a professional football player, so then you should enjoy when you get the chance. But that doesn't mean, as I said last time, one swallow doesn't make a summer. It's the same, yeah. And then it's you know, you have just your little toe in the door, but you have to go through it. So that doesn't mean you have to be afraid that it hurts, but also you can't jump through it. You know, take your time, take everything. Nothing has. That's our times now. Yeah, we think if I play the first time, I'm immediately a starter, and if I'm not in the squad, then I'm completely out. It's a consistent training and ups and downs like we have as a team. This is what every single player has, what every single human being has, and I think as long you accept this and you put a lot of effort, you will get it. If you think, if I have played one game, now I have achieved everything, you will fail.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.